Going live. It says we're live. There it is. There's the countdown clock. I see it.
Bam.
There we are.
Can everybody in the chat see us? We see you. We've seen you. We've been creeping on you. I don't know. I am seeing, of course, there is Sarah. Imagine that. It's like she's right there with you, David.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Lindy and Dagny.
Realize I'm not in the chat.
There's Carol. We see you. Do we see each other, though?
Oh, we see each other.
Do we see each other?
Hi, Helen Casey. Hi, Mr. Garfield.
I'm missing Helen. Oh,
Yeah. Hi.
All good.
hello, Claudia.
Linda, we saw Lucy everywhere today, didn't we?
I did, and I think I might have either got a photograph or at least got it on video. Twice there was a Lucy next to something I was looking at. Yes.
Oh.
Nice. Hello, everyone. Sarah just came in and showed me how to pull up the comments. Yeah. I was under
Good job, Sarah.
I'm not seeing anything. So
Hi, Karen.
Karen. Now, if
Girls.
you guys, Misty and Michelle, you just got to meet a number of people in real life, didn't you?
Mhm.
Helen
Yeah.
and Lucy Van Pelt and Karen Radford.
Mhm.
Yep, we sure did.
Yep. And then on Wednesday when I leave,
You're going to meet up with again. I know.
when I'm like halfway home to just the end of Indiana, I'm going to be getting together with Karen for like maybe coffee or lunch or something, whatever time it will be.
Hey, Amy.
hey, Amy. Hello.
Got to keep your eyes on that one there, guys. Watch out down there in the
I
chat.
forgot to put on my vintage rescue squad shirt.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Hey, I want to make an announcement that look out this week. I will be, what is that word I'm looking for? I'll be premiering. That's probably not the right word. A new graphic, some new merch for the Vintage Rescue.
Ooh, that's fun.
So you'll still be able to purchase
Debuting.
debuting. Yeah, okay. You'll still be able to purchase the other logo, but Emma has been working on another really cool one. So
You know what else you can look
Yeah.
for?
Daniel.
Guess what's going to be coming tonight? Probably tonight, right?
Well, listen, Michelle and I stayed up to 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Michelle has
That's a
learned-
really wide open statement. What's coming? Who's coming? What's happening?
Tell him, Michelle. Tell him.
I'm learning how to edit. And I did my first video is
Awesome.
it's like this close to ready. I just need to do the little bells and whistles because we're bells and whistles kind of gals. And so it'll either be like tonight or it'll
in the
be
morning.
it might be just maybe my regular time, which is usually 5 a.m. Central. Maybe we'll set it for that. But you guys, you gotta watch to the end because then you're gonna be able to see what's going to be on my merch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That's exciting.
Thanks.
She has like that. She has that face that just says, "You guys are gonna like freak out when you see it. You're gonna giggle inside, depending on who you're around, because it's gonna be fun."
I did it all on my own, and I wrote it down like a first grader on a piece of scrap paper, like on a Post-it note, and I gave it to my daughter's bestie. And I was like, "This is exactly what I want." I knew exactly what I wanted, and all she had to do was really like put it in a computer form.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had to go from old school to new school, and she did exactly what I wanted. So I got goosebumps. So I'm like super psyched about it.
Well, David, you have your logo, the junk. Okay, why don't we go ahead and go around and do our introductions? Maybe we should start there.
Yeah. Don't mind us. We're just carrying on a
I
conversation.
mean, right? It's
We're
like
just hitting the ground running.
tonight.
Ladies, do you want to start off and then we'll go to David?
Sure. Go ahead, Michelle.
Well, I'm Michelle. I'm comfy cozy. Look at you misspelled my
Cozy.
I thought that was going to be on the new merch. You were going to put the P in there.
I'm
It's silent.
gangster.
You're going to silent. Pfeiffer.
That's like extra comfy cozy,
Oh,
it's like to the nth degree. So, I'm
That's
Michelle at Comfy
brand.
Cozy Living. And I have live sales on every Thursday on my channel. And I also have live sales with this here one and that there one.
What? Who are you pointing
She's
to?
pointing to us.
Him.
Oh,
I went too far. These two. And on Tuesdays. And tomorrow it'll be on my channel.
Oh, cool.
And I also, I'm spreading out, maybe not the best term, but I'll be doing a sale with that there one down there too soon on Instagram.
It's gonna be a crazy one.
I'm branching out. Yes.
out, not spreading.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It'll be
whatever
crazy. Show up.
it's for. So, and I'm going to be doing some different kind of videos too. And also everybody, next Tuesday, I'm going to be talking about junk journaling in our Three's Company slot.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Right, because next week I will be on vacation.
And who are you again?
Oh, I'm Misty, Thrifter Junker Vintage Hunter. I will be on vacation next week, all next week. So I still have, I'm hoping to get them done. I got a lot of work to do to get them done, but I'm hoping to still have videos 3 days next week that will be already edited and scheduled, but I won't be having any sales next week. No sales with Michael, no sales with Michelle, no sales with me, no sales on Mondays, nothing. I won't be going live at all. So Michelle's going to take, she's going to do a premiere during that time slot.
I'm going to go live and talk about the whole junk journaling and the days that it'll be all the things.
All the things.
It's going to be the junk journaling jump off point.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, so and we won't be doing a vintage rescue squad next Monday night either. So, but yeah, I sell on YouTube and eBay. That's me.
Awesome.
That's her.
And she does a mighty fine job of it.
I try.
I'm David Coleman. I'm Junk Drunk Mantiques. I'm fairly new to the vintage community on YouTube, but I've been in the Instagram vintage community for almost 6 years now. Started by my wife, the Traveling Button. Most of you probably know her. I know you guys all do.
Yeah.
And she went on to this venture with the vintage online through Instagram and created the group. And with my wedding photography that I was doing, wintertime, I have a lot of downtime. So, and we're best friends. So we do a lot of the stuff that we do together. It's just the way we are. And so it was basically either sit there and waste my time or do what she's doing. And so, because I love going picking with her, but I didn't know what things were. I would just see things and be like, oh, I like that. That's cool. And so that's how I started. And so I'm now on Instagram, and I've kind of found my niche, the stuff that I like to pick. But I started out basically whatever scraps were left over that we picked that didn't work for Sarah's shop, it was in my shop. And so I learned about the vintage that way. And yeah, it's just been a really fun traveling path. And so now we're going to start traveling more throughout the rest of this year, trying to pick and see some of our vintage community that we've gotten to know so well through 2020 and through the live sales. So yeah, just picking, selling, keeping a lot of stuff, and just learning as much as I can from you guys.
Well, we just adore you and Sarah. So
well, thank you.
It's just it's just such a fun little community.
I know, like when we had the bonfire the other night at your house, I was like, this would be fun with like our friends,
company picnic.
Yeah.
We need
like
to
just
just company
chilling.
picnic.
Yes, yeah. I wish we could all just get together, just Zoom right over to each other. Not with the actual app Zoom, but
Right.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be having George on too as soon as he's done with his premiere.
We are one man down. George, the Antique Nomad, will be joining us, but of course he is doing his video as he normally does Monday evenings. So once that is over, he will in fact be joining us.
Cool.
And of course, I'm Michael Todd, and this is The.Cult.Of.Vintage. You all know that since you were here. But yeah, just to reiterate, as Misty said, tomorrow we are going to be having our Three's Company. sale, and it will be on Michelle's channel, Comfy Cozy Living, and that will be at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I know that most of you are already familiar with everybody up here on screen, but just in case you are not, everybody's YouTube channel, or in David's instance, his Instagram page, all of that is direct linked already for you in the description below in the video. So make sure you're subscribed to everybody. And if you're not following David on Instagram, you can do that now.
Yep.
Simple little click and it'll take you there. And whilst you're out there, you may as well just go ahead and give the video a thumbs up too, because we would all really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, before I forget, one thing that I did, Michele, when you were talking about like branding, I know, David, you have, well, both you and Sarah both have logos to your Instagram shops, right?
Yes.
Have you thought of ever doing like merch outside of, because you are typically an Instagram seller,
right?
Is that anything any of you have ever really thought of so far as like T-shirts or buttons or stickers?
Yeah, Sarah has really thought about it quite a bit. I have, the photography and graphic design background, so we can do a lot of fun stuff. And so we've kind of just stalled out on it. Basically, you get busy in life, and it's something anytime in, like 9 o'clock at night, we're like, oh, this is a good idea. And then the next day life gets in the way and, it just gets put on the back burner. But I do have actually a couple of ideas that I wanted to run by you since you wear a hat.
Always.
We'll keep it on the yeah. But yeah,
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Very fun. I really think the idea of having T-shirts is awesome. I know we have customers that have bought with us for years, and with that, we get $100 box full of vintage that we pack with love and everything. And it would be nice to have some merch like that we could just be like, you know what, this month, everybody that does $100 or more purchase, they're going to get a free shirt, something like that, for the customers that are your just loyal customer base. And, we've also talked about, how people can, buy a badge on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And, it's great. You get the hearts and it shows support, and it's a really awesome thing. We're trying to figure out ways to basically say thank you for that, while including our name or the Instagram Shop Network name. Although we're also considering calling it for the YouTube, since it's not Instagram, like Integrity Shop Network type of thing. Yeah, that was.
Have you ever thought about like Patreon or something like that? I mean, if you have like a Patreon, you can kind of keep track of who, and then people can get.
That's a good idea. I've never really looked into that. I'm sure Sarah's listening, and hopefully she'll take some notes.
You can get a Patreon for free,
okay,
and sign up for that. But then you have to. It's sort of like the membership thing in YouTube. But there's kind of a catch. It can be confusing because it's just adding one more thing. So if you you have these layers, you have these membership categories or levels. But then you do have to do something for your Patreons. You have to either have extra content or a free shirt.
Something.
Yeah. But then if you are. If you're working for yourself, which we all are, we don't have like a team of people to handle our PR for us. Then it's just one more thing to add to your plate. So
yeah,
I've thought about doing it too. But I just don't know. But yeah.
Right. Well, I know with the possibility of us having a big get together next year.
Yes.
I do foresee some major merch for that. So,
yeah. Well, and I will say too, with our brick and mortar, we would do that. We would order T-shirts for Wildflower Antiques for our shop from like a local T-shirt printing company. Yeah. And then when we would have like an open house, or we would have some sort like Small Business Saturday, we would do it. Like if you spent $100, then you get a free T-shirt.
Right.
But the thing that you run into with that, if you pre-order your shirts, is like, what sizes do I get?
All the different sizes, and then you have a whole stack of sizes that never get used.
Yeah. And it seems like whenever we would order like more extra larges and less smalls, then we need a lot of smalls and no extra larges. It seems like that's the way it all worked. But that's the nice thing about Teespring. The nice thing about Teespring is that you don't, people place their orders, and so you're not.
Well, it's just automatically order on pretty much. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the idea of merch is, I think, really cool, but I'm just like, I mean, like, at what point? I mean, I know YouTube does it, or you can qualify for Teespring when you get to 10,000, or no, you can do it at any time. You just don't have the banner to advertise it until you hit 10,000.
But what you need to do if you don't have the 10,000 followers, you just need to make sure that you keep promoting it on Instagram and promoting it on your, well, I don't even know, what do you have to have the community tab? Is it still just 1,000?
I think it's 1,000.
And you can also do like it. I don't know if there was a way that you could do, there are things that you can do to have like an email chain or something like that. You could do things like that, but again, you want to do, like, I do this all the time. I have all these ideas and all these things that I want to do.
Right.
And they're run through my brain and I write them down. But then I didn't, sometimes, a lot of times they don't make it to fruition because I don't have the time to do it. I wish that I did.
Right.
Yeah. And speaking about time, so one thing that you ladies were talking about that, an interesting topic was like kind of like the things that were running through your head today. And more specifically, Misty had a really good point about, well, why don't you say about like preferred versus, or was Michele, your personal aesthetic versus what you shop for.
Right.
Yeah, it's like we shop with two different mentalities or two different sets of eyes, and it also has something to do with the price point. I mean, if I see something that's for me that I love and that I'll pay, that, like you call it, a collector's price, right? And, or say like a premium, right? And if it's something I want to resell, then I have to think, well, I can't pay a collector's price because there's no meat on the bone.
Right.
You have to look at it. That's when you're looking for, and of course I did things a little backwards today because the whole time I was thinking I don't have cash and I don't have a check on me.
Well, the reason why is because the antique mall that we were at today, a lot of the booths were having sales, 30% off, 50% off, 10% off. They were having like a 4th of July kind of celebration. But in order to qualify for those discounts, you had to either pay in cash or check. So that was the caveat.
And it threw me because I wasn't, like, as I was shopping, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to get this 50% off. Like, there's a couple things that like the BBs, the bluebirds.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the most,
she didn't get them. She's like, well, I'm not going to get them.
I didn't get them because I wasn't going to pay full price. But she was like, I'm getting them for 50% because she was writing a check. Well, by the time we were probably almost done, we were like, oh, wait, I can transfer money to my other account and I can withdraw the money at the ATM that's in front of the store. And I had to do 2 transactions for $2 each, but it was well worth the amount that
you were saving.
I saved, and that also helps in, like I was telling David with, there were items that I saw and I said, oh, this is going in. I told Misty, I said, this is going in my sale with Michael or with David. And this is going in my sale for tomorrow. And this is, you kind of know going along.
I shop a little bit differently because I shop in the world that everything is for sale.
Well, yeah.
Right.
So if I buy something, I buy things that I'm drawn to, things that catch my eye. I mean, I buy things too that I maybe have sold in the past that I know, there's resale value in them, but I typically will go towards things that are in my niche, the things that I am drawn to, or the things that I am learning about and I'm wanting to buy because I'm wanting to know more about them.
Right.
But I very rarely, I mean, everything has price. I mean, I will, you could come into my house and say, oh, I like that picture, and I will sell it to you.
Well, it just happened about 5 minutes before the sale.
I like that.
Somebody said they liked my purse.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, they can have this purse
Yeah.
for a price.
Yeah. I mean, I just, when you do this for a living and you're constantly seeing new things, when you're shopping, you're shopping all the time and your collections change and you get kind of sick of looking at some things, and then it kind of evolves. And so that's why I'll collect things for a while and then I'll sell it all.
Right.
Collect something else and then I'll sell it.
Or how we have been saying lately, like, oh gosh, should I keep it or should? And then remember how we said, I'll love it a little while. The price will go up, but it'll be worth it because I've loved it for a while.
Yes.
Of course, we're joking that the price will go up, but
you never know.
David, are you a one-brainer or a two-brainer shopper?
I'm a 2, sometimes 3-brainer. So for me, going in, I always pick with Sarah. There are times where I'll go by myself, but that's just like if I'm running errands and Sarah's like, hey, go ahead and run by the Ark or the Goodwill. We haven't been to that one, and I'll do that and just run through. But when we go picking, I'm looking for those things for my shop that I just always am looking for. Tiki stuff, like cool tiki stuff, MCM barware. And that's all stuff that I've slowly learned over the years on the different barware, and between Culver and Libby glasses and Federal glass. And it's kind of a fun, it's almost like a scavenger hunt type of thing. When you're looking through the glassware and you all of a sudden see something that's like, I know that's worth something. And then, you put it in the cart and I go show it to Sarah and she's like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, yeah, cool. So that's kind of how I started. But so now it's just, I go in and I'm looking for those things that I just love selling. And I always go to the back of every store first, because Sarah starts where the kitsch is up front, where they're getting you. But she also wants to get that stuff. And there's no point in me, reaching around her trying to get kitsch, because I know she's going to get that kitsch. So I go to the back, try to find blow molds, stuff like that, just weird things. And then I look through all the other things. And I'm always looking for specific things for, just to list in my shop that just not live, just there, troll dolls and stuff like that. Because there's always people that they see it and they're like, I need to have that. And there's always going to be a buyer for a troll doll. Whereas there's some things like, like the Greek wall pocket you got from me, Michael.
Yeah.
That was one of those. As soon as I found it, I was like, that's going in my sale with Michael. I had that for over a month in a bucket. And that's how I do the live stuff, because like I want to mesh and I want our vintage to complement each other. But yeah, I don't like to be themes, but I do like for everything to be curated so to just look good together.
Yeah, I don't like themes very, very much either, just because I get bored easily, and I like because, okay, so like for Christmas, for example, well, there are a lot of people that just they're sick of Christmas. They don't want to see Christmas. So then you may lose some people that are coming to your sale because it's just a Christmas sale. Exactly. Or, like I keep saying, and I am going to do this, I promise, I am going to do this. I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to figure something out. But I have an insane amount of linens, like an ungodly amount of linens. Like I can build a wall with my linens. So I'm going to go on Instagram and have a linen sale one day. And I don't want to do a dedicated YouTube sale, because my customers aren't used to me just selling linens.
Right.
I will sprinkle them in, but I need to get rid of them. So I'm going to do just a linen sale.
That's nice on Instagram. And the nice thing about that is if you can put it there and, you're not going to sell it all right then and there, but it will all go, because that's one of those things. People are always looking for linens.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely, and this is the interesting thing, and I think that I've noticed it more now that we're doing like more Instagram reels, is that it's not like a theme, I guess, but I find myself very much attracted to colors that complement each other. So it's not even like I'm down with having like a kitschy I'm thinking of like I had a Anchor Hawking. It was like a yellow hobnail vase, but then I had the blue. What were they, Michelle? The Art Deco creamer, the blue cobalt,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Hazel
yeah, the
Atlas?
Hazel Atlas.
Hazel Atlas, and then it was like that blue and brown and yellow, and then I'm
Yeah.
really going for like greens and pinks all of the sudden and blues.
You're going for
So
some
then
anthropomorphic tomorrow.
tomorrow is all
Really?
about the anthropomorphic. Oh yeah, I went heavy.
Oh,
I got a lot of anthropomorphic stuff this week. It was kind of crazy. So yeah, and it wasn't even. A lot of times it's just
Instagram.
what I find and I feel will sell.
I like
Instagram sale.
Logan says a Linstagram sale for linens. That
There
was
you go.
Logan. I like that.
Now, Amy had a good question, and I feel like we've kind of have talked about this before, but is there anything, I guess, is there a big regret that you ever had so far as
sell it all.
selling?
no, you know what? Today, I will say, I had those Montague, little like children, like little, I guess
Native
the
American.
Native American children's drawings. They were
Oh, okay.
sketches.
Like the DeGrazia.
They were the 4 that I had. I know Michael remembers those. They were just so precious. Well, then yesterday I saw 2 pictures that I got in their color and their Montague. So I was like, oh, I feel better now, but I'm still selling those. But then DeGrazia too. It's like some of the pieces I regret, and then I'm like, but I'm still going to sell, but I love it. And the feather art, some of those pieces.
I love that stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So, but you know what? You always find more. We found more feather art today, and I didn't even buy it.
I don't have a regret because I will sell it all.
I have more.
Do you like this cup? I will sell this cup.
I probably regret not getting things sometimes that I see, that I wish I would have bought because
I get regrets over things that I should have, like when I'm editing a haul video or I'm editing something or a shop with me video, and I go back and I look at it and I'm like, oh, why didn't I get that to resell it? Not necessarily for myself. Actually, I think my haul video or my video tomorrow, there are a couple of things that I just decided to keep during the haul video. I just thought I'm going to keep these for a little while. And I will. I'll keep them for a little while, and then I'll sell them.
And there was something today that neither one of us got, and we're like, "Oh God, they're going to be yelling at us."
Mr. Beefy Frank.
No, not that, because I should have got that.
We saw Mr. Beefy Frank, and
I should have got him. I know.
Oh, it was those flowers. Those the plastic
needlepoint or
the plastic needlepoint
stitch, something.
They were
the canvas.
Weird.
Yeah, but they were vases made out of that plastic and yarn.
Oh, yeah.
And they were kind of wonky.
And all of the flowers were made out of that.
And it's all
they were $5.
Except that they had fake greenery in it, and that kind of like won't want it,
Yeah. It's like, do I want to deal with this? Nah.
Yeah.
David, do you ever regret selling anything?
I have a few regrets. Few regrets.
Okay.
Well, the first one was convincing Sarah to sell her huge Cupie. She still wants one again, and they've gone up way in price. So I regret that because I'm still looking.
Was it a vinyl doll or
yeah, it was a big plastic. It was like 24, 30 inches tall or something. But it was just creepy out.
A human child.
Come around the corner and it just freaked me out. And I was like,
she's probably sitting on the couch with a little pouty face right now, missing that little Cupie.
Most likely. So
it's because you didn't pick it up and hug it is why. That's why it kept creeping you out.
Right. Well, and she has another doll, and I have not liked it. And again, Sarah, can you bring me that doll?
Do you have problems with the
Jamie Miss Century Wasted said that she's mad at you right now, David.
I'm sure she is. A lot of people have heard the story, and I've gotten plenty of messages like, how dare you?
He sold my Big Betty, so I got this.
She got this, and I have kept my mouth shut.
Oh, it's a Misty doll.
I had one of those
over in the living room for so long, and what's upsetting is I want to get rid of it.
Is she a dancer? Does she have?
She's the dancer with the
Yes.
dancer feet.
Yes, she's got the elastic so you can dance.
Very
with
cool
her.
vintage, right? But
Yeah.
it scares the hell out of you if you don't expect it. Yeah. Okay. That is all. That is all. And so obviously, I didn't say anything about you have to sell this because it's a one of a kind type of thing, but she's going to sell it tomorrow in her sale, and I'm so thankful.
Oh, yay!
So glad. But the other item was a clock that I bought, and it needed some repair, so repaired it and cleaned it up. And I really thought about keeping it. It was one of those floating clocks, so it's like nautical, big round one, and then the rope goes up, wind up, and it had the chime on every 30 minutes a chime, and it sounded like a boat chime or a trawl type of thing. Yeah, and I sold it on Instagram to what was it? Raising My Wildflower, I believe. That's who I sold it to.
Right up there.
Yep, and I really wish I kept that back.
He's like, too bad, so sad.
Sorry.
He remembers who he sold it to, so he really regretted that one.
Yes.
Mhm.
But she's borrowing it for a couple of years, and then I'll buy it back.
There you go.
But no,
I'm sure that'll be at a premium.
pretty much every clock I've sold, I regret selling.
I missed it.
Michael, Cranky Lady Vintage had a really good.
Okay, let me do, because Lana has.
Oh, Lana. Yeah, I saw that.
Lana. I think that this was a really interesting, and then as you guys answer, I'm going to go find Carmen's.
Okay. How do you all decide when to source? I feel like I'm sourcing all the time and it's taking over my life. Well, it depends on how much you are selling per week. I know that a good rule of thumb to have, especially if you don't have a lot of space, is to well, I guess if you're selling on eBay, you have to stick with what your budget allows. Right. And you have to stick with that. So if you give yourself, if you sit down and figure out what your sourcing budget can be, and you always need to reinvest your profit back into your business. So I always suggest that you get a separate business account, separate from your.
Someone's here, guys.
Oh, there he is.
Oh.
Hi, George.
Hello.
Hi.
There's the man.
George.
Hi there. It's so good to see all four of you. This is great.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
I'm a bonus.
Yeah.
George,
I
you
agree.
on a green screen?
Yes.
Excuse
I love
me.
that.
Oh, my word.
We need to think about that, Michael. I want like a green screen with like a big Santa standing next to me, or a big.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a green screen, and then I'm gonna wear green.
You
shirt.
need to have a green screen with BK sitting right on your shoulder or something.
Yeah, just sitting right here.
Yeah.
I really want the one where it looks like the car is turning behind you, even though you're not turning the wheel. That's the one I want.
Yeah. That would be fun. I'm like getting all kinds of ideas for these green screen things.
Yeah, it's time to start going green screen.
Yeah, that might be the
That's
thing.
a dangerous idea there.
There's another thing that we're going to think about doing and then put on the back burner for a couple of months, but it'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come back.
It'll come back.
But having a separate account for your business and your personal, and just sticking to what your budget allows. And sometimes you have to put yourself on, I'm not going to thrift this week, or I'm not going to thrift this month, and really focus on the things that you have. And if you have them listed and they're just not selling, tweak them a little bit, make sure that your pictures are really good, make sure that you are using appropriate titles. So reinvest your earnings back into your business.
Exactly.
And
absolutely.
I think a lot of times, as far as like sourcing goes, I have tried like to have a schedule. The thing is, and I think that this is a common thread for all of us, and it's also why we love what we do. It's that if this is your sole job, your sole income, it's also our hobby. It's also what we love to do. So on my day off, this is what I want to do anyway.
Right.
So it's a fine line between like, am I working? Am I having fun? Am I filming? Because now I'm, thinking about that.
Right.
But also if it's a weekend, there's a flea market this weekend, or this for us. And Misty knows because I didn't thrift for like a week and a half or whatever before I came here. And my Goodwill has Customer Appreciation Day on the 15th of every month. And if you spend like between $15 and $25 or whatever, it determines your percentage off. And then you get a coupon for the 17th for 20% off or something like that. Wow. So it's basically 2 days, because we don't ever have we don't have coupons at ours. We have a reward system, but which is awesome. Right. But it's hard when it's like, well, I have to go thrifting today. It's the 15th. And then I didn't, and it's like, oh God, that killed me. But I didn't have to go,
The thing of it is, and I think the thing that really needs to be kind of talked about a little bit is if you do YouTube, if you make YouTube content, you can't base your business model on our business models, because I have to shop. It's part of my job. I have to make I make videos of myself shopping. So I have a 2,500 square foot space that I can store this stuff. So, because there have been times, and then I sit and say, I'm going to focus on the stuff that I already have. I'm not gonna spend anymore. But then
what do you do for content?
I got to do a video. So you can't base what you see us doing as like what you should do if you don't make YouTube content, or if you don't make YouTube content that is like part of your earnings, if you're making money off of your YouTube content. So
I just have to add, Angelo just said he got the geezer discount the other day. Hello, I'm moving to Indiana because you have to be 55, not 60. And I got my first senior discount all day long Wednesday.
Yeah,
awesome. And then, okay, I'll tell you, because I'm okay with it. They thought I was her mother. Oh.
Hey, you got to get that discount when you can get that.
I took it, right? I was like,
come on, Mom. I'm taking you back to Shady Pines.
You go put that dolly back in the bin. You're not getting it because you were being sassy, little miss.
I'm going to jump to Carmen's question. I'm going to have David and George answer this one quick. It says, I know you all have sold things with chips or crazing on the lives. Well, because you can thoroughly show and disclose the damage. Is there something to totally avoid on the sales sites? What do you, David and George, what do you guys think about damage? Do you sell things that, as Carmen is pointing out, maybe that has chips or crazing? Yeah. I mean, does anybody even really consider crazing damage, though?
I don't.
I wouldn't.
Well,
personally.
George will tell you that some people do.
A few. I'm going to let Dave answer this first because I'm a little opinionated about this. So I'd like to hear his answer.
That's totally, for me, it depends on the item. If I go in somewhere and I see something that I've never seen before and I know for a fact that it's just going to sit there, or like if it's at a Goodwill or something, it's going to get thrown away, I'll pick it. As long as it still displays well, or, if it's something that is supposed to be used, can still be used. With that being said, I'm always worried about picking something that's damaged because you do want to make sure they all see it, and you find a desired item and you preview it and then you drop it on a sale, and just do a quick drop. If they're all fighting for it and they say claim, or they claim it right away, they may not know that there's damage on it. So anytime I do pick something like that, I'll post the damage first, just so everybody can see the item before they have a chance to even purchase it. So that way there's no buyer's remorse. Other than that, it just comes down to, I want the best stuff in my shop that I can find. And it really has to do with just those rare items that I feel like I can't leave behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the answer depends. It really depends partly on where you are. In England, for example, if something was made as a pair and one of them is smashed to smithereens and re-glued, you still present it as a pair, because it is more important for them to have the set and have it damaged than to not have the set. If you show them just the good one, they won't buy it. On the other hand, in the United States, it's almost exactly the opposite with most collecting categories. And it also depends on what it is that you're selling. I mean, with a lot of these hard goods, the truth is that they're really fun, they're cute, they're clever, they're whatever they are that appeals to us. but they were mass produced. So you will find one without a chip. So don't be in a rush to buy everything that you have that has a chip just because, well, it doesn't really matter and they won't really notice. The most important thing is an accurate, honest description and representation. So if you're going to put something on eBay and it has a chip, for example, just make sure you disclose it and that you take really good pictures. And that way people can see what they're getting and make their own decision. Now, having said that, I came of age in the era of a lot of glass and china and pottery collecting. And unless a piece is really scarce, people just don't want it to have damage, period. So that's really stuck in my head. And so I'm a little hardcore about that in terms of what I buy, unless it's really scarce or it's a type of item, a primitive item is supposed to look worn. So that is a category where a little bit of damage is not necessarily the end of the world.
True.
So it really kind of is situational, but that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Disclosing everything you have to with pictures and especially on eBay, because if you don't disclose it, people are going to see it and they're going to want to return. And it's going to affect your eBay ranking. It's going to affect your pocketbook because you may have to pay for the return shipping. Even if you say you don't accept returns, eBay is still going to make you give them the money back if the item isn't as described. That's the beauty of having a live sale, because you can show things and you can show flaws. I mean, depending on what it is. Now, I know that if you buy something, let's say like a Lefton Bluebird, highly, highly sought after. Very, very highly collectible. If it has a chip, depending on where it is, you can still buy it and you can still make a decent profit on it, depending on how much you pay for it. Right. I shop with my emotions. I always have. I see something and I know it has like a little flaw, and I'm like, oh, because I like things with faces and things with personality. And so I'm always like, someone can love this again. I just know it. I just know someone can love this again. Yeah. And my collections at home, I tend to only collect broken things. I don't know why. Like I collect heads and arms. I have a cup full of arms. I mean, I don't know. I just like things that were once
the dark side.
They have a story, like something what happened. How did this break? That's the thing that I don't know that I think about.
Well, I think that there's a lot to do though with I think it's exactly what you said though, is that when you shop with your emotion, you're seeing more than the flaw, you're seeing the totality of the item. And as you said, that emotion is leading you then to think of the life that it has lived, what occurred to have made it be damaged, and you assign meaning and feeling to those things. George, do you have an example?
I have an example. This piece, which is Goldscheider, which I bought it back when this was really selling for big money. I figured I could get $100 for it. I eventually managed to crack the horn. I glued it back together. I represented that I did that, and I can tell you nobody ever even looked at it again. And finally, it ended up as a shelf sitter in the house. And I noticed Mid-Century Wasted put a comment in, and I think some other folks too, about how they keep the chip things for themselves. This is why if you see an estate sale and it says they were an antique dealer for a really long time, you might as well wait until the last day to go, because everything is going to be damaged.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's true,
right.
but
there's so many things that
we tend to keep the brokens for ourselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I have a figurine or something that is not broken, and I find one exactly like it and it is broken, I'll keep the one that's broken, obviously, and I'll sell the good one. Yeah. Because everything's for sale. I don't have like a collection that I'm like, I won't sell any of this. I will sell everything.
Well, I also feel like it depends on where the break or the chip or the crack is. Today I had something in my hand. I think it was an owl. And I was walking to my cart, and then I saw it. It was like, I don't even know. It looked more like a bullet hole than a crack anyway. And there was no way around it, but like if it's a planter and it's on the bottom, it's almost like it's perfect because nobody sees that. Right. But if it's on the top, and the flower's not going to go over. You don't know.
Well, and I think if you're paying attention to what is on trend right now, as far as what people are buying right now, what is on trend, even so if something is on trend, like right now, let's just say like uranium glass or Mexican pottery, if there's a little chip or there, here or there, and it's something that's very, very popular right now, as long as you disclose it and know that you probably aren't going to get what you have to buy low. You have to buy low. I mean, that you have to be able to think, okay, can I double my money on this? That's when I go shopping. That's what I always think about, but that doesn't always work because I see something with a sad little face on it and I'm like, I got to get it. But don't do what I'm doing. You can't base your business model on what I'm doing or what Michael's doing or you can maybe base it on what George is doing because George is a professional. He knows his stuff inside and out. You have to base your business model on what will work for you and your business.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. And I think at the end of the day, it really is. It's just one of those things where I guess it's an opinion, and we all have different opinions for them and we all rationalize our opinions for different reasons. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people are like, well, I'll find chips and I'll keep it for myself. And just as Misty said, and I will do the same thing. If I find a duplicate of something that I already own and the one that I own is pristine and the other one has some damage on it, and I don't think that it detracts from the piece, I don't mind. And then I'll buy it, keep that one, and then sell the pristine one so that you ultimately can, because we're all collectors, even though we all resell, we all collect. We all know that something that is in pristine condition is going to get you more resale value than something that has a condition flaw. Yes, sir.
I have to say one thing just to be a little contrary here. I am a collector, and in my personal collections, I don't buy anything damaged ever. And I don't keep anything damaged ever. If I had a damaged one and I found a good one, I'd keep the good one if it was something I really, really treasured. But I do have certain things that I collect that I will hold on to until I croak. So
what would those
so we do want to go to your
space. Maybe.
So, make sure you call us when that estate sale happens.
Right. Yeah, there is like vintage cameras. That's the one thing that I collect that they have to be pristine. They have to be working condition and like not just your average, just vintage camera. So yeah, you're right. There are certain collections that I have, clocks and cameras, that they have to be just that perfect piece.
But I think that's what's so lovely about this community in general is that there are a bunch of different people that have different standards,
Right.
If you like something, you like it pristine. I'm the weird one that likes things that are not pristine. And I tend to gravitate towards all those things. I can't help it, but I do. But obviously I want to find the things that are in pristine condition. And I do. I mean, I do find them, but I think
part of it is like, I want to find the great things, but I want to pay the damaged price. So maybe that's why that I'm like, well, what's a little chip when it gets me $15?
When you go into Goodwill picking up items and just, this is chip, you're getting that half off, the dented can type of thing. Yeah.
When I go to Goodwill and I see something that I know is collectible, but I really don't like it, I say, please be chip, please be chip, please be chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But George, I do want to know and Cheryl agrees, we want to know what some of the examples are of your collection that you wouldn't want to let go.
I collect some Northwest painters who were modernists, and some were famous in the day and some weren't, but they become more now. And let's see, I have some pieces of Pilgrim cameo glass. They have to be flawless because cameo is such an intricate thing, and it's so hard to make it perfect without damaging it in the process that the perfection is part of what makes it collectible. So that's an example. I collect, I've got Stetson Rio as a dinnerware pattern, and I still have Manhattan glass. And those, to me, they need to be perfect, because there's enough others out there that if there's something wrong with it, I can get one that is not damaged. So those things I want to be right. You know, other things I'm a little more forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Picasso, you're right. I do. And that's something that I personally, especially the smalls, because you can, depending on what you're going to do with them or what your overall aesthetic or vibe is, because just as like with Misty, if you have a collection that it features the flaws of items, and that is something that you value, or maybe not that you appreciate in those items, then you can make an amazing collection of it. And it's really a lot of character. But I do look for broken and damaged things that otherwise would be discarded and try to give them a whole new life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
that's
think
part
there's
of
a
the
lot of beauty.
sentimentality, the emotion.
Yes.
Behind
There's a lot of beauty in that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that if you have something that's damaged, to me, there's a lot of controversy, for example, over never paint furniture, never paint wood furniture. Well, if it's got a huge gouge in it and you've got to fill it and refinish it anyway, well, you might as well paint it. You know, a car that's been in an accident is a great car to turn into a lowrider or a street rod. But don't take a perfect example. I guess that to me is the other side of damage.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. I see Becca Moore says, I collect PIDs, but it seems no one wants to resell them. Becca, I buy them all the time. I have a whole shelf full over there. I buy them all of the time.
Yeah, we always talk about the Dairy Queen swirl tail.
That's true. Yeah, we all have sold a good number of pigs. Yeah, especially those Japan, the banks.
Oh, yeah.
Those usually do really well.
And the kitschy face.
Yes.
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 I like the die cast or the cast iron old metal banks. I just sold an Aqua one a couple of weeks ago. I almost got it, and it had the key with it, the original key with it,
nice.
and the instructions. It was locked inside, so I unlocked it. I was trying to figure out what was in it. I thought it was a penny, but it was the actual key. So yeah,
I like the plastic bank advertisement pigs that you hand out. You know, when you would open up a bank account and you'd get that little plastic piggy bank.
Yes.
Owls, yes. I think that's like a huge thing. Owls you will see everywhere. People love the owls. Deer are another animal that people just seem to really gravitate towards.
I'm selling this one tomorrow. Look at this big
You are a big
Golden
fella.
Girl sheep.
Is that 80s or what?
That's definitely Golden Girls. That's
And
Miami Vice and Golden Girls.
And it's
there.
wood. It's wood. Squirrels and skunks are big right now.
Yeah, squirrels. I had problems selling those last couple of years, and then this year it seems like squirrels have gotten crazy. And I don't know if it's 2020. A lot of people being at home and reconnecting with their yard, and they're naming their squirrels, because I do that. You know, I've got Charlie up there. Ralphie died last year, but you know, squirrels. So everybody has an animal that they just love. You know.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Or don't.
Or don't.
No, Becca.
Tree rats. Tree rats.
I have bought
Team
way
Zeno.
more than one thing.
Nice.
But yeah, skunks are really skunks. I think are more popular than squirrels right now.
For sure.
And look, I'm not gonna lie. I bought a squirrel today. At the end of the day, I am here for all of you.
Zena says that they eat them in Kentucky.
That's in Missouri too.
I don't.
Oh my gosh, that's cracking me up. Bluebirds,
Food.
All the glass animals right now.
Yeah,
are pretty hot.
Glass animals, figural glass animals. But the thing that is, you have to be very careful with those figural glass animals because they're not all vintage. Right. You know, there are a lot of them that are modern.
Yeah.
This question is really interesting, and I think it's probably going to cut off a good bit of George and David, but bear with us. So it says, "Hi David, what are your thoughts on Instagram apparently wanting to be more like TikTok, as pushing mini videos or reels, opposed to currently to photos? And what do you think that means for sales and for sale stores?"
Okay, so that's a really interesting question, because up until this last year, I was 100% static sales. So I would do a drop like 15 to 20, 30 items. And those items would get 100, 200 views and all of that and have no problem. Once Instagram started to really try to compete with TikTok and do the lives and do the HGTV content, everything has been weighted more for viewing. If you do a video, it's going to be seen more via the algorithm because they are competing with YouTube and TikTok. And so what I've been doing is I'll do a reel. Like for our sale that we had last week or a couple of weeks ago, I took all my items and I did a reel, did some fun music with it, and it got 4,000 or 5,000 views. But then the next day I did a collage picture of all the stuff together and posted that right like at 5 o'clock, a real prime time. And so basically I covered both bases. However, I mean, one was obviously the winner and it was the reel. So with the I like it, but I also, it is frustrating for people that don't do live sales that just want to do a drop. But use that to your advantage. I mean, that's all you can do. They're giving you tools. So it's not like they're saying, oh, you have to do video now and then you'll really be seen. They're saying, here are all these tools, have
Free
fun.
advertising.
Well,
and it's a learning process, but it's fun.
I think that what you're saying, and I think that this is a really good point, is still you need to do a reel. Do a reel as a preview. Do a reel as a preview of your static sale. So people will see your reels and then maybe like, whoa, what is this? And they're going to pay attention to it. Exactly. And they're going to come back to your static sale. They're going to ask for that tag.
Yes. And after you do the static sale, let's say you sold 50% of your items and you're not going to invoice till the next day. So all those items are going to sit there. Well, you can take advantage of the popularity of stories and, share an item that just needs more views, share it on your story, and then share something funny or share a quick picking video that you did earlier, and then share a couple more items that are there and just put on there, click here and you can buy this item. So there's workarounds for all of that. But I think what it is just getting used to the different types of media and finding ways to take advantage of visibility and just meshing it all together.
Yeah.
And not to cut anybody off, I'm just trying, there's a lot of really good questions, so I'm trying to keep up with as many questions as I possibly can. But Carmen, you have another good question, I think. It says, how do each of you store and organize after hauling? Do you sell as soon as possible on a live? Do you have a closet, room, storage unit, or store like in Misty's case?
Girl, I have a store and I still have stuff everywhere.
It's true. I have a room that has shelving in it now, and I've been trying. It's kind of taken over my house, as my kids would attest to, and so I've been trying to, that was one of the reasons I put a freeze on my shopping for a while. So coming here, kind of.
Well, you're saving up to come here.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm in the process of just getting things in a more organized manner.
Yeah.
But, I like to have a little inventory on hand.
Always.
Honestly, I do like a goal. Like today when I was shopping and I'm having a sale with David in a few weeks, or I'm having, we're having our sale tomorrow. And there are things that I know I'm going to put it in that sale, or I'm going to put it in that sale. So I'm trying to put things, in a place, but then there's so many things that fall through the cracks that I got at all the last places that I've been to. And then all of a sudden I am sitting at the bottom of a mountain of inventory.
You tend to get excited about the new things that you buy and you forget about some of the things that you bought a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
That's what I have found.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's like you buy something, you love it, and you're going to put it in a sale, but then you find something else that's just, it's more of a wow factor to it. You're like, oh no, people are going to love this even more. And then that thing gets set behind and set behind again.
Well, and for us, I think because we have our weekly sale, it does. I will put my maybe less of a wow. I put my big wow. I'm not going to hide that fact. I do put my bigger wow items in our Tuesday sale, because that's kind of what they've come to expect. And then, I mean, look, my Thursday stuff is wow, but it's just not as big a wow. Maybe it's more realistically attainable wow.
Well, and there's always that scale of the buyers. There's the ones that are just
exactly.
At, whoa, I haven't seen that. Finally, I have something I want to buy.
Yes.
And then the people that are starting their collection, and then all the people in between. Yeah.
Well, I have found it very fascinating. On Mondays, I didn't this Monday because of Michele being here, but on Mondays I go live and I walk around the shelves and I have people pick things that we just pick them and we're going to sell it. And it's very interesting to me to see the things that people are asking me to pick. It kind of brings into my mind that these are the things that people are wanting. And while I'm going out and the things that I'm pulling from my sales, while they may excite me, it may not be, I mean, they're telling me what they're wanting me to pull. So it really, really helps to know what maybe to pull the next week, or it's very fascinating to me. I love it. I love seeing what you guys tell me to pull to pick. So it's just fun.
How do you guys store your stuff?
Go ahead, George.
Well, I ended up buying a cheap storehouse in Kentucky to store stuff because I already had storage lockers in Washington and Florida. And you will find that what happens if you don't organize well, which I think I finally am starting after all this time, I think I finally have a handle on my inventory. What happens, and especially me being all over the place makes it more complicated, but you will indeed sell your best stuff first. Your most exciting things will be put out in your stores or your online selling places or listed or whatever. And the stuff that goes back in the box is the less exciting stuff. And pretty soon that box gets filled. And then there's another and another and another. And then you start putting it after you realize, like Michele still was about to, that you can't live that way anymore. And then you get your first storage locker, and then you start paying for the stuff that isn't as good and isn't as exciting over and over and over again. So if I had it to do over again, I would try to have...
Can I put you on pause here, George,
Sure.
real quick? This is going to be really good advice, I have a feeling, you guys. So if you are a new reseller,
Pay attention.
pay attention to what George is about to tell you. Listen, turn everything else off, pay attention, don't have a thought in your head, let it go, and listen to what this man is about to tell you. Sorry, George.
Okay, well, I hope it's as good as that, but I think it is valid, and that is get the stuff out and sell it, and then get more. Do not let it accumulate in storage. If you have a bunch of stuff accumulating in storage, find another avenue to sell. Open a real world store where at least you can be selling some of the stuff instead of paying for it to sit, or send it to an auction and take what you get as a box lot, knowing that otherwise you're going to pay over and over and over to keep that stuff, hoping someday it's going to be more interesting or sell for more. If I had it to do again, I would organize by where I was going to sell, what the types, like show merchandise goes here, stuff for online goes here, stuff I'm going to put in my antique mall goes here. And if it fits in none of those categories, then it needs to go. And I would say start with that idea and be rigid about it from the start, so you don't end up like all the rest of us.
I think that you had a really good point about finding a consignment auction. If you can find a consignment auction, you may not get, I mean, you may take a loss. You may take a loss, but you're going to get something back, and it's going to be more than a tax write-off. You're going to be able to get more out of it. So if you research a consignment auction house in your area, a lot of times they'll just do them on a Friday night or whatever. You just, bring a box full of stuff and you register it, and then they sell it. I know that there's a process, but it's better than nothing. And you're going to put some money back in your pocket, and you're going to clear up some space.
Yes, absolutely. And the thing is that I learned a long time ago, there were, when I was managing antique malls, we had some individual shops upstairs and I was doing the advertising, and I'd go every 3 months to ask if they wanted to put, this is before eBay, and we'd send advertising to 30,000 people who were regular customers of ours from around the country. And I would ask if they wanted to take ads, and 3 stores would always say, no, my sales have been really slow. I just have the same stuff I had last time. And one of them would say yes, and she always had fresh new stock. And I finally said, why is it you have fresh new stock and no one else does? And she said, if I have it more than 6 months and it hasn't sold, I lower the price until it's gone, whether I take a loss or not, because I can take that money and turn it around and buy something that I'll double my money on and double my money on again. And you know what? She's still in business, and all the rest of them ended up closing.
Absolutely. That, can I get an amen?
Yeah.
Listen, if you
Amen.
have an antique booth, you have to have a sale every once in a while. You do not have a museum. You
Right.
have an antique. You are paying money for booth rent.
Right.
Very expensive money a lot of the time. So you're paying for a very expensive storage unit. Have a sale. Because I tell you what, even if you have a 20% off sale, someone walks into your booth and they're going to be like, well, look, it was 20% off. Well, it's 20%. They're going to load up their cart. They're going to buy more things because it's 20% off.
Right.
I did.
I mean, it's just like time is money, space is money. And
Space
it's
is money
exactly
very
what
much.
George was just saying. I have all my life, I always have thought, I don't understand how people have storage lockers, because you're paying money for something to just sit. And it does. It actually fuels my fire. That is almost a big part of my motivation. And this sounds like a very small thing, but even in my last sale, I said, nope, now I'm going to start doing mystery boxes, but not just a mystery box. I'm using a cool vessel. Like
Right.
I had a cool lunchbox. And so I'm just, and that's just me, because I want to make it creative. I have to make it fun. I have to have a little spin on it. And that's going to be my way, because just because I've had it for as long as I've maybe had it doesn't mean it's crap. It just means I've got so much good stuff
Right.
that I need to make room. So that's just been my angle, is to just kind of like let some of the other stuff sit for a minute and look at what's right in front of me now, and let's move some of that.
Well, and we've all had those antique malls that we go into, especially if we're going in and filming. There are certain booths that you don't even go into.
Right.
You just walk right on past them because you know that it's the same stuff, because it just doesn't sell. So have a sale. If you have a 20% off sale, it is not going to hurt your bottom line. It's actually, you're going to be surprised at how much more you will sell just because you are having a sale.
Yeah.
And this is relevant to eBay stores too. I know some people who keep the same stuff in their eBay store until it sells, and they waste all of those free listings, or even worse, pay for listings to sit on stale crap. And they could easily shift it, lower the price, change it, put it on auction, get rid of it, and put something else in that spot that's going to sell.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
So like when we go pick, we pick, always thinking about, we have scheduled out sales months in advance. And so we pick for that stuff. When we bring it home, it's kind of unique to us because we do have 2 different shops. So we have 2 people picking for 2 shops. She'll pick stuff for my shop. I'll pick stuff for her shop. Once we get home, we get it all unpacked. We divvy it up. And then, so we divide our stuff, and then, we take our stuff, the things that are hot right now, the things that are the wow factor that we want to get on the lives, we put them in bins for the next lives and organize that out. And then the other stuff that we just couldn't turn around, not get, static sales, whatever. But yeah, after 3-4 months, if it's still sitting in my shop, it's already been relisted, dropped $1 here, dropped $1 there, a shop sale for a day. And if that stuff's still there, it goes into the garage sale, and we do a garage sale. And we just started doing this
Live.
And
it's so
it's
fun.
hard to keep up with, but it is so fun.
It is, and it's so funny how one of us can sell something in a hot minute that somebody else had on for 6 months.
And the thing is these are all items that people want or like, but for $12, I don't need that, that doll.
Right.
But we're saying we're in the garage, and yeah, this is going in the garage sale, $5. I have to have it. I'm taking it all, and it's like a feeding frenzy, and it's fun. You create new buyers, but then you make space not only in your actual storage area and where you're holding your stuff,
and in your head.
In your head, you also have your people that are coming to your shop online. They all of a sudden don't see all that stuff they saw over and over, and they're like, oh wait, looks like there might be some new stuff. And even if there's not, the other stuff that was cluttering it up is gone. So you want to keep clutter down all the way around.
I noticed. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, just to clarify, when you said in your head, can you elaborate on what it is that you meant by that? I think we know, but just to clarify for everybody watching, what is that you meant?
Well, I'll say it succinctly. I went in to do an estate sale for an 87-year-old woman who had not quite a hoard, but there was a whole lot of stuff. And in the pile, I found a little slip that said clutter equals postponed decisions. And she knew it. And what happens is the clutter in your life will turn into clutter in your brain, and it gets in the way of everything else you're trying to do.
And that is
just one more thing in front of the thing that you really want to get done.
Yes.
It's so true. Yeah, it really is.
Wow, I'm really behind on the chat, you guys, but how long did you... Okay, so, and that's interesting, David, and I'm really glad that you brought up the idea, because I have seen a number of people now, especially on Instagram, doing Instagram live garage sales.
Yeah.
I think that is such an interesting and a dynamic way to really be able to, in a very short period of time, really get through that inventory, so that, just as Misty and George are saying, you don't have to you may take a loss on something, or at best you get at least what you put into it.
If you do it right,
George was saying, you clear it out of here, so that way you have a clearer frame of mind to make the next right decision for your business, reselling, or personal even.
Right. Well, let's say you have 20 items in your storage area, and it's all, you bought them all for $5 to $6, and they're all listed for all different prices. You take all those things and you list them all. $5 takes all of these items, each individually. It'll average out to where you get your money back, because some items you bought for $3, some items you bought for $6. But if you can sell it all and make sure you get all that money back, I mean, you've done what most businesses can't do, which is stay in the black.
Now, David, you've done the live garage sales. Would you recommend that if you were, because I could see it being really hard if you were doing it by yourself.
I would not do it by yourself. I would do, okay, so we've actually been talking about this in ISN, because a lot of people are seeing how other shops have done that. And I know for us with 2020, once things opened up, we went kind of on a buying frenzy. We weren't just picking the gotcha stuff, the awesome stuff. We were like, okay, let's go ahead and grab this. This might be good. And so that's why we ended up doing the garage sale, because we had all those items that sat and didn't go to the live sale, because it's like, oh, I'll save it for the next sale. And it's just sitting there collecting dust. Some things might fall over and break if you don't take care of it. So we did it. And I will say, without someone else watching the feed and doing it, it'll either take 12 hours to do it, or you won't know who bought everything. So if you can go live with someone else and they can take care of the comments, you don't actually have to be in the same place. And I know some people have done stuff like using a letter and a number combo to say this is this item, or this grouping of things is 6J, and you just write in 6J and it's yours, and it's a way to kind of keep it organized.
Yeah, you have to have some sort of a way to organize it.
It's going
very fast.
It starts, yes.
It's going very fast. And ISN is Instagram Shopping Network.
Yes.
And Sarah, which is David's wife, it's a hashtag, I guess, of community shops that she has formed.
Yes.
A bunch of different Instagram vintage and home crafted and vintage items.
Yeah. Over 350 or 320 or 330 items. Oh, sorry, 550. I'm off.
550.
Wow, that went fast in the last couple of months. So
A live garage sale is sort of like what I do on Mondays, but they have everything like out on a table and they're just showing it, and she'll like just pick something up and then it gets sold right then and there. Pick up the next thing, get sold right then and there. They're really fun.
Yeah.
they are. Yeah, and there's multiple ways to keep going.
Welcome to the conversation. Sorry, I was just making sure I probably did miss some really good points or questions. So again, if you guys do have a question, because you guys are really bringing it tonight, I gotta say, if you can just put it in caps, that way it stands out a little bit easier for me.
George, I see one. Board Gal Treasures, Kim. Polished sterling silver or not for resale?
That's
like
a great question.
Letter opener, serving utensils.
I've always wondered that.
I think that, okay, the standard answer is yes, polish everything. That's not always the right answer. If it has nice patina and it's like there's certain Victorian pieces of silver that when they darken, the pattern actually comes out more, especially if they have etching under the surface. And some of those are really attractive without being polished, and if you polished them you would lose that dimension. So you really have to look at the item and see, how does it appear, what's it going to look like, and how's it going to read to the person on the other end. Generally speaking, yeah, probably need to polish. I have to tell you, I hate polishing. I do it as little as possible because it's just a chore to me. And I usually take my silver to shows where I can actually show it to someone and have them hold it in their hand so that I can avoid having to polish it.
Would you recommend setting?
Well, being that I'm the boho girl, I kind of have a similar thing with the brass, and I am like patina all the way. I am so team patina for brass, because to me, polished brass puts it in a whole different era, really. That reads to me 80s, you know.
I agree. Plus, they started finishing the brass a little differently around then to keep it shiny longer. And sometimes you can't really get an even polish on it because of the way the finish is done. So you better check a corner or an area before you do the whole thing, because you might end up with like, oh, it's so shiny and it's still blotchy.
Yeah. Blotchy, for sure.
Team patina.
I was gonna, but Lana, I guess at the end of the day, and I think this is probably what everybody would say, but please disagree with me. You have to do whatever's going to work best for you. You know, I think that the biggest downside to selling on YouTube would be, and I don't mean to say that there's not a commitment, regardless of any platform that you choose to sell on, but it's going to be kind of one of those things, is your YouTube channel just going to be live sales? You know, and if it's just live sales, is it going to build you a big enough audience when you're having one video a week? So
and if you're nervous about it, is it something you really want to do?
Well, Vinny has a good point.
Yes.
And this is very sage advice from Vinny. If you're going to be on YouTube, make sure you're building your channel up before you run sales. People do need to get to know you. They're going to need to get to know you first. So I don't think that you should have a YouTube channel and you're only doing sales. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, that's pretty judgy for me to say that. And I don't mean it to sound harsh or anything, but I think that letting people in to know who you are is the best thing to do, because it allows people to know what to expect at your sales. They're going to learn what kinds of things you're going to bring to your sale each week. And it just gives them a little eye into who you are, and
build your audience. You
building your
audience. You have to, draw them in. You can't just expect to turn on your, hit the button and go live and have everybody there.
People are going to show up.
And don't make everything
the same way.
Yeah, it is.
You can't just come in and be like, oh yeah, I'm now selling to you. You have to come in and actually prove yourself to be worthy of the group of buyers that are on these platforms, because They're not idiots. They've been here a long time. They know who's really selling real good vintage and who's, you know, bull. I don't know. I'm trying not to cuss. But you know,
okay.
Well, you're on Michael's channel
All the
tonight.
time.
oh, okay. Well, anyways,
My daily struggle.
no, but no, it is about, you know, earning the trust of the customers, because it is a big amount of trust for them to say, yes, I'll give you this money, and I know you're going to send it to me, and it's going to arrive, and it's going to be what you said.
Right.
If you have never introduced yourself and you come up and you've got all these awesome items, how are the buyers going to know if you're a legit shop, if you're just a pop-up shop?
And please, 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 I beg of you, don't do everything live.
No.
Videos.
Yeah.
Post videos. That is creating content. Post videos that people will go and they will binge. You know, if you do a live, it also does go in a separate place for your own sake, and you'll sometimes forget about your lives.
Your live videos won't perform as well as a pre-recorded video.
It just because it's easier. And honestly, look, I've been doing this for over a year, so it's not that difficult because I've learned how to do it, and I promise you, it's baby steps along the way. But you cannot expect to have all the good things happen at one time. You have to work for it. You have to set the goals. You're not going to attain all the goals all at once. And you cannot compare yourself to someone else. And I truly understand that people on here ask all of us questions, and you may or may not actually take, you know, you may not heed our advice, but even if you do, don't expect the same results, because Misty has been doing this for how long? And I have been doing it for how long? I certainly don't expect to put up the same numbers and have all the same results and be making the same bank that she's making. Right. It doesn't, we could be, you know, I know a lot of people have been really enjoying the last few days with us together and everything. And, you know, we have known each other for a good chunk of time now, and we've spent other time together, and we talk all the time. And so we have a great bond and everything like that. So we have a different, you know, dynamic that we present, but we also are separate, you know, on our own. I don't ever claim to be thinking that I'm just because I'm at her house for a week, I'm going to have 20,000 subs next week. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Asking other people to shout you out, it doesn't work that way. If people love you, if you are everything that you are putting out there, and it's all good and it's all what people want, they're going to ask you. You won't have to ask them. Yeah. And I will say, just with that question, it's not, is YouTube better or is Instagram better? It's how does YouTube work and how does Instagram work? Because if you're really wanting to do this and you're for real, I wish I could tell myself 6 years ago, because I had a YouTube channel that was attached to my my photography business. Well, when I started my Instagram business, if I started my YouTube channel and switched it over to vintage, it would be popular like my Instagram channel. So yes, you can put all your eggs in one basket, and that's great. But why, when you can cross, you know, post all of this info? If you're going to capture video, post it to your Instagram, post it to your YouTube, link them together, and you're just building, you know, more for yourself.
Yeah, and it's hard because, you know, you do want to, you know, and I think that it's a very important to be an active member of the community, as far as you do, you know, you share people's sales, you share their, you know, their moments, you share some of their cool finds, you talk about them, you do collaborations and stuff with them. But that doesn't mean that you're going to do them with everybody. I mean, this is a community, but you're not going to be best friends with everybody. You're not going to be close. You're going to be acquaintances, and you're going to be friendly, and you're going to be helpful, but you're not necessarily going to be, you know, best friends and best buddies. And I think that it's okay. I don't think that you should ever ask anybody to shout you out or I don't think that you should ask. I think that if someone's willing to do it for you, that's fine. But I think you should never have to expect anything in return.
Yep.
Well, if he loves you, it's going to happen organically. It just happens. You're talking and you say, I mean, we've discussed it. And I was saying, like, that's why I wanted to do a sale with David, because I vibe with him. I like his vibe. I feel like it's like, you know, and I jokingly was talking to Sarah and I was like, hey, I want to have a sale with your husband. Do I have permission?
She thought that was hilarious.
It was just, you know, because there's just people that you connect to, and we're not all going to connect with each other.
Exactly.
It's not. And it's a huge community. And if you guys will, some of you have been here for a long time and you know how things have changed. You know, when you're inside a chat at a live sale, how there are some names that are always there and there are some names that are all new. And you know what? We as resellers, we treat you all with the same open arms. We welcome all of you.
Yes.
I'm not, you know what, and I think it's a difficult thing because it's oh shoot, who poop.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out that question. I was kind of confused by it.
About reposting.
Yeah, like reposting a video that you've already posted.
Yes.
Yeah, I
corporate.
don't know how YouTube would feel about that. I think you probably could if you had downloaded or saved your video. You probably could, but I don't know if that would be a violation of YouTube's. I think you could probably get away with it if you weren't monetized. But if you were trying to double monetize on it, you might get in a little trouble.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
And I tell you what, you would, George, if you put up a video that you just put up, how many comments would you get? Well, we already saw this video. What you do? So you would get those
reruns on YouTube.
Well, and the thing is they can binge watch your content anyway. I guess reposting to me would be the if you had a video you did really early on, then I guess you could take it down and repost it, and then it's a new video, but you will lose all of the views and everything that you had for the original video. So is it really a good idea? Right. It may be better to find some way, and I think that we'll all start figuring this out as time goes on. There will come a time when, oh my gosh, I'm so busy and I don't have time to do another video. Let me take some of my best of other things and put them together in a new way that tells a new story. That to me seems completely legitimate. I did a thing with mixed success called Flashback Fridays where I went back to my early videos and kind of reacted to my own videos.
I loved that. I loved that.
Well, it definitely was interesting because you do see different things the next time around, and you do hopefully learn something, and maybe the sound quality is better. I had a little trouble, but you know, it was fun, and it was a way to use old material in a new way, and that did not seem to be a problem.
I think that it would be like a fun challenge, like a new challenge for us all, for like all of us to go back. Maybe not Michael, because Michael's first video was like the best first video ever. But
it's 3 months old anyhow.
For those of us who have we have that first video, to go back and do exactly what George did, where you're critiquing your own video, like your own very first YouTube video, and be like, oh, because mine is bad. So I mean, I don't know. I think that would be kind of fun to see. Like, I would love for like Jocelyn to go and like sit there and kind of critique her own very first video, or, you know what I mean? I just think that would be kind of a neat thing to watch and see how people have grown and like, like what they're cringing over.
Lots of that.
George, do you I guess it would depend on the shopper, but do you engage with individuals that are aware that, you know, you do have a social media presence, that you have sold and do sell actively on eBay? I mean, do you engage in conversations with like your antique show folk? And you know, because a lot of the shoppers are of a certain age, and how do they express any kind of misgivings or concern, or I don't know how to do
Resistance.
that.
Well,
Resistance.
well, I see Sandra K's question is, how do the old timers at the shows you attend feel about the new avenues of selling? And I have to tell you, they are excited. They are thrilled to see new energy. They are fascinated by the idea that I'm doing this. And of course, it is a topic because I'm walking around filming. You know, if it's before a show in the morning and I'm walking around with a camera talking to myself, they want to know why. And so it is a topic. And I would say that the response is overwhelmingly positive, because a lot of those people have been saying for years, we really need to find ways to communicate with younger people, new people, get people excited about this. And the fact that and honestly, a great deal of the mission of my channel is to link the real world and the online world of collecting together again, because the collegial feeling and the nature of it is so similar, and the things that we all love are similar, and there really are not a lot of differences in any of those substantial ways. So to me, it makes perfect sense to bring them together. And the only resistance I get is the same resistance you get anywhere. Once in a while, somebody doesn't want their stuff recorded because they had a bad experience with someone recording things of theirs before. Once in a while, somebody says, well, I would love to subscribe, but I don't do Google. You know, I hear that from other places too. I don't just hear that at the antique show. So I would say that the response is really good. And what's really great is that I'm seeing a lot of people, viewers coming to the shows who haven't been to an antique show before, and they're really excited. Resellers are realizing that, yeah, you can buy stuff there. If there's 1,000 dealers at a giant show, you're gonna find some bargains, because not everybody can know everything about everything. So it's just really fun to see it come together.
Especially on that last day when they don't want to lug it all back in their car.
That's right. So I would say that it's great, and that the symbiotic relationship is really good. And to me, the next step is to try to convince more resellers that it's not necessarily as hard as they think to actually do stuff in the real world as well. Compared to what we're doing in the virtual world, it's actually a lot of work. So, you know, there are more than one way to sell things.
Yeah.
And Vintage Tammy, too, I did see that you had a really good question. I would say that the best one, Misty, tell me if you think a different one, but the one where we had Sarah and Allison on.
Yeah.
Sarah is, again, the vintage button. It happens to be...
Traveling button.
What did I say? The vintage button. The traveling button is David's wife, Sarah. I don't know. Just look.
I think so too.
Yeah, that one's good, and she's the creator of ISN. So yeah, and I know
Michael, that one was on your channel, I do believe.
I believe so.
Okay. So go back into my. Do you separate? Does the YouTube separate the lives from the posted?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
I have all my playlists.
And play it. I will make a playlist eventually, sometime in the future.
Yeah.
But look for Sarah and Allison. Yes, sir.
Oh, I have a really dumb, I'm old and feeble and sometimes don't understand technology thing, but I have the hardest time coming to this show because all of your thumbnails say live, and trying to figure out which one is actually the current live video drives me nuts.
Oh, does it really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
I may be the only person who can't figure that out, but just throwing it out there.
It shows that it's always live?
It doesn't show that it's live, but you say live chat or something in each thumbnail, and for some reason, I'm just like,
think that it's live right now, and it's an older one.
Yeah. And that's on me, but I'm just telling you that I'm sure there's some other feeble, old, technologically impaired people who also see it that way.
I'm on the same team as you, so let's be nice to ourselves.
I don't. You know what, George? I don't think that that's a bad thing. I mean, I think that there's a lot of validity to that, because I do get comments, and it's like, why am I not showing up in the chat?
Right.
I think that might be why.
It's not live. So yeah, the titles say live. Well, maybe I should go and adjust the titles after the live is up. I could just say I don't know. I could revise the title.
Yeah.
To say not live.
Or just put
It
the
was
date.
live.
Just
Or put the date, you know, where it
That's
said
a good
live.
idea.
Yeah,
Perfect.
So smart.
that'll be easy.
a lot of moments.
Yes, and that is interesting. And Zeno, that's actually what happens through my analytics also, is that, and I don't know where the conversation was going. I just happened to see it. But if you do look on our back end in the analytics, a lot of times what happens, a lot of the views that you see are actually coming from non-subscribers. So,
you know, George had a very good, George put out a thing and sent out an email, and it just popped into my brain that there is something that you can do now to where only, what was it, George? Only subscribers of your channel can participate in the chat.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a new thing that you can do. And I haven't done it yet because I like everybody to participate. But there will come a point where, honestly, as it keeps growing, I may not be able to handle everyone in the chat. And if that happens, then it may become necessary to say, you've got to be subscribed to chat. Otherwise, you're still welcome to view and hang out. But, you know, it gets to... it's funny. When I started doing this, you know, I had a mission in mind, and it wasn't really about making money or having 1 million subscribers. And now that it's gotten bigger, I'm realizing that some of those things that I really prize about it being small, well, they can't exist forever.
Yeah.
Which is just going to...
I'm dealing with that same thing, George. All these things that you would like, I try to go back and I want to reply to every single comment.
Me too.
And I try, but I just can't. I try to at least heart them all. I do go back and read them, but to reply to every single one is getting so hard.
And yet I love reading them, and I do. I promise I actually look at them all. I just can't always say something about that. So please keep sending comments. It does really make a difference, and it helps us guide the direction of what we do too. You know, I mean, I've had a couple of comments that were pretty negative, but they weren't negative just to be mean. They were negative because they had an opinion about something, and I try to address that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I hang on. Oh, I'm sorry. Go on.
No, I kind of read that question wrong. I was reinterpreting it. I mean, Cheryl, I guess that is true for certain people. What I thought it said was that it was just difficult giving. I thought I was reading it like, you know, when you have the way that I'm flustered because I read that wrong, and I feel
I want to be in your brain right now.
Yeah.
I read it like when you're getting hundreds of comments, it's hard to keep up. And as you and Misty were saying, you're reading them all and da-da-da-da. So that's how I was reading it, not the way that it was worded.
Well, I don't know if you're referring to this where Cheryl said, if you do that, you may lose potential subs. I feel like it's a way of gaining subs, because if people want to stay included and stay a part of our channel, I mean, I really almost don't understand how it is that such a high percentage of the people that attend our sales or that leave a comment or that watch our videos are not subbed, because it's a high percentage. And it makes no sense. All you have to do is click that. And if you're here, you can do that. If you found your way to my sale, my video, my anything, you can hit subscribe. And it only does good for us. So if you like me, if you like George, if you like Misty, you want to do what is helpful to them. And for all of us, growing our channel is always the most helpful, and growing our channel means more subs, and more subs come one at a time, and you are one, and you are one, and you are one, and you all count.
I don't know. I never even thought of that. I always thought people that would come to the sales would be subscribed.
You're the Mr. Numbers guy. You're the analytics guy. And how do you not know?
But the analytics don't demonstrate. Well, see, here's the thing. When we go live, there's a difference in, okay, here we go. So when we go live, there's a difference between what is occurring, who is actively watching it at that time, versus who then views it once the video has been saved. Your analytics, when you look at a live sale, is different than what is actually occurring in the chat. So the people who are predominantly, vast majority of people who are showing up in your chat are subscribed. However, just like any posted video, half, if not more, are going to be people who have not subscribed to your channel that are viewing the replay. So you're seeing replay analytics, but YouTube will provide you peak periods in a live, so you can see where your most sustained views were and how long that was sustained. But it's showing you a lot of replay. Okay, I got you now then.
And I just noticed
people are subscribed to you in your sale. Yes, they are.
Sorry about that. I noticed also that Jamie at Mid-Century Wasted made a comment that I thought was pretty valid. And we forget this because we've been doing this a while now. She said a lot of people may think that subscribe means you have to pay. You only have to pay if you're getting a premium package or joining as a member. And yeah, the term subscribe really does sound like something you would pay for. So I can understand why that term is misleading and probably keeps people from doing it.
Can I be honest with you? I'm about to say something I think maybe a bit controversial.
Ooh.
But it's on my channel, so I can, right?
Sure. Absolutely. Yes, you can. It's your channel.
This is like, what is it? I'm going to say this. To me, if you choose not to subscribe to my channel, but you're always watching my videos, I don't care.
Well, I don't even think it's a choice sometimes.
Because, and I'm going to and I will tell you all why. Everybody down watching this, the 334 people that are actively watching this is going to be the true tea of it. I get nothing for having 1 million subscribers, because I could have 1 million subscribers and nobody watches my video. I don't get anything from it. If I have 0 subscribers, but I have 1 million people watching every single one of my videos, I make money that way.
Yeah.
True.
It is true.
It's the weirdest.
But in the YouTube analytics, when people are engaging in your channel, which means you're getting subscribers, so that means your channel is growing. It's getting that upswing when you're getting comments, when you're getting likes, or any kind of engagement, thumbs downs, whatever, because who cares about those? Because it's still engagement. It's still going to show growth in your YouTube channel analytics, which means if you are monetized, then your RPM and your CPMs are going to go up, which means you're going to make more money off of your advertisers, because advertisers are going to pay a little bit more if your channel is in the upswing.
Right.
That's why you see the analytics and they take a nosedive sometimes and then they go back up again. So yeah.
True.
Well, you know what, Randy? Okay, then let's talk about something else, maybe I guess a little bit more controversial. If you want to know the truth, and here's the thing, anybody that has a YouTube channel or an account, okay, the information's already there.
Yep.
The information is already there. If you have an email address, whether it's Gmail, Yahoo, if you still have an AOL, it doesn't matter. They have your information. So the idea or concept, I totally agree. I think that there are a lot of people, especially people of a certain age, Randy, that are like, but they're going to know everything about me. They already know everything about you. The truth. If you have a cell phone, they know everything about you already.
If you bought a recently made television, it can see what you're doing in your house, which I find very objectionable. But yeah, we're being surveilled all the time.
Well,
and might as well just put yourself right out there, and at least you get to direct that narrative. And that's what I like about being on YouTube. At the same time, I agree. If you don't subscribe, as long as you watch, that's all that really matters to me. The only reason I emphasize subscriptions, it does help with the algorithm, Misty's right, but the other reason I emphasize subscriptions is because I get people who are not subscribed and then are very disappointed because they're not finding out when I'm doing things. Well, if you aren't subscribed, you can't click to be notified. I have no way to communicate with you. So that's the only thing. You might just be doing yourself out of information that you would like to have by not subscribing. That's all.
Yeah. If you don't want anybody else to find you, I can't find you either.
Yeah. How important are thumbs up? They're very important. They're very important. You know, I look at thumbs ups as being just a small, simple token of gratitude. You're watching content that we've, put our time and energy in. And I want to say the least you can do is to just give it a thumbs up.
I mean, just as a like, this is my tip as a viewer. I don't know, just call me crazy, but well, don't do that. But before I had a YouTube content channel, anytime I watched a video that I hit like, that way I knew I had already watched that one. That's how, that was a help to me. A help to them is the bonus. It helped me remember I already saw that video. And that, for some of us who are busier, that does matter because it's hard to keep track of a lot of that stuff. And if I see, because some things look alike, some people's thumbnails, we, thrift a lot of the same things maybe or whatever. And it might look a little similar, or we don't all have the best memories, certain ages, some of us, then, it's just a nice way of saying, oh, Michelle, you already saw that video. Go on to the next one.
Well, and there is the option of doing what Dave's doing and not doing that part at all and having it go through another medium. I mean, there are multiple ways to reach people now. So, pick what's appropriate for you.
Yeah. And I am currently starting my YouTube channel. I'm there. I think I have 41 subscribers.
I didn't know you had a channel.
You did?
Yeah.
I think I might already be subscribed.
What is it? Is it John?
It's John Brook Antiques.
Okay, David out there lying in the weeds, sneaking out on us. Okay, David.
But the thing is I'm not going to be doing much on my channel right away because I want to help Sarah get hers going, and she is just so busy. And I have the photography experience and the equipment, so I'm going to try to help her get some videos made, edited.
I have a request.
Yeah.
Michael, can we see BK? Is BK allowed? Sarah, is BK allowed?
Well, only because I like Sarah and David so much.
Okay. You guys, wait. It's a treat. So this is a treat. You guys.
But I don't think BK's here. I think 4th of July, that was yesterday. Wow. Yeah. BK got arrested. He got arrested.
Name.
Oh my gosh. I think.
Did
he got arrested.
Did they take away his tree? Is he naked now?
That's the problem. He took his tree down and set it down.
Sarah, did you Bo Peep him?
No, not Bo Peep, but I think he came back.
Oh, there he is, guys. Everybody say hello to BK. BK stands for belligerent Cupid.
Hi, my name's Belligerent Cupid, and I tells it like it is. And I'm the shop mascot over at the Traveling Button. And I should probably go because this guy's going to get real embarrassed.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
I love it. Thank you, David.
Insider story.
Thank you for allowing that.
Absolutely. Insider story. Since we were dating, we always like to play. Okay, so we had kids a long time ago, little kids,
Like,
and so we're playing with stuffed animals, and we love to make those just like little voices and stuff. And it's so funny. It just happened organically. Just all of a sudden, she had BK out and was using that voice, and it was just it's like.
What the heck?
David said, "What? Who did I marry?"
Right.
Oh my gosh! Sorry. I have dirty my night.
I have dirty Cupid, and he doesn't talk. We found him in a plant, so it's a little.
That's one I
little Cupid that's all covered in dirt. He was in a plant. We repotted it this last beginning of the spring, and I was digging. I was like, click, and there he was, and I pulled him out. I don't know how he got in there, and I have not cleaned them. And he doesn't make any. He's basically my shop mascot, but he doesn't talk because he's swallowed all that dirt. So yeah, so I don't have to make sounds or voices.
Right. I love it. I
He
just
just
love it.
grunts,
You can
right?
give life to things, and I just
Oh,
love
yeah.
it so much.
Yeah.
Dirty Cupid grunts only.
Yeah, he's a grunter. Sounds like Tin Man before he gets oiled.
Gosh, I'm loving this. Okay, where are we at? Sorry, guys. I needed it tonight.
I just totally lost any kind of attention with the chat, and so everybody loved. They either loved or were terrified by BK.
Nice.
So there's that.
Scott is scared.
Okay, you know it happens, Scott. It does.
Yes, Allison. Technically, my shop mascot is Chernobyl Charlie. And if you go after you're done here, go to my Instagram, Junk Drunk Mantiques, and it's in one of my last 2 reels is Chernobyl Charlie. I got it from Allison. She's Skeleton Keys in the Closet, and she had this little orange guy. I'll go grab him I'll have Sarah grab him for me. If you come in here, I'll show you.
He was playing in the hail yesterday.
Yeah, he was playing in the hail yesterday, right around the corner, and I just loved him. Like he's vintage, legit vintage ceramic, Sarah, right up here by the space stuff. And
listen, there's 334 people in this chat. I mean, how many? Come on, guys.
Come on. So yes, this is Chernobyl Charlie. My first time using the backwards camera. So, but yeah, this guy is just cool. And you know, just like everybody else in 2020, we had to watch something that made us feel better about our lives. So we watched Chernobyl, which was a great documentary thing. And so I don't know, the name just came out of nowhere because he kind of looks like he's going in to, you know, save the rest of us, you know. So yeah, he's my little mascot. He gets into trouble, but BK or Dirty Cupid, he's the one that he gets into trouble with BK.
Yeah.
Well, Zeno, if you're watching me, you can hear me. So what you can do is, if you're not watching the chat, you can hit that description box and hit. Oh shoot, I don't have David's.
Thank you so much for subscribing.
You
Zeno,
can just go ahead.
Zeno, you need to do what you said you were going to do.
Zeno said
Zeno said you said you were going to photo bomb. I want to see. You said you were going to video bomb.
He's got a dirty crack. Like BK.
I think I'm in love.
Oh yeah. He's got
You like the dirty crack, Michelle? Oh
no, Michelle, no.
Oh, don't worry. On our sale, Michelle, we're gonna have some fun with DK.
DK.
Oh.
Well, Misty has a little somebody.
Well, he's not with me. But I got this. I got little Peter.
Little Peter.
I'm covering up his bits.
His little Peter. She's covering up his little Peter.
Okay. So let's talk about commenting on videos. I did see a lot of people say that it does make them, you know, it does, like they feel like they've been seen and heard if the content creator will reply to a comment.
Right.
And I agree. I have always said that to be acknowledged is very important. And by hearting a comment or giving a thumbs up, I try to do both. But there are times when some of them get past me. Yeah. So I try to go in. I do read. That's what I do every night before I go to bed. And every morning when I wake up, that's the first thing I do is I go in and I look at those comments because some comments need to be addressed and taken care of. But the majority of it is just, you know, and I want to be able to, and I do try to go in and say something. Some comments you really can't reply to. Like if someone's just saying, you know, I don't know, like, I don't know. Some of them.
Thank you for the video.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. But I think that it's very important to acknowledge your subscriber base, to answer your emails, to you know.
Some people like to put what time they came in. Like I'm the first one at 5:02 or something like that. So I always heart that, and I love my comments. My people know I love my comments. And I do try to, do try to respond to a lot of them. And I remember when I used to respond to every single one. And then at some point it's like, I can't even, we talked about this today, like how many people who I love to watch their videos, when's the last time I actually did that? And I mean, how many times, Jamie, how many times have I told you, you put me to sleep? Because I'm like, I love, I have favorites, I'm not going to lie. And I love to watch Jamie. And I'm like, girl, you put me right to sleep. And it's really just the idea that I'm that tired and I'm trying so hard to watch a video or two. And it's like the hardest thing because we try to do too much.
But I think a lot of people have to understand though, too, is, like with some really bigger, a lot bigger channels than ours, if they're getting like 300-400 comments on one video, you have to understand that it is very difficult to go back in and do every single one. As we want to, as much as we try, we do, but sometimes it can be it can be hard because you can literally spend hours. You can spend a couple of hours just doing that. And
well, it is like getting 300 extra emails a week.
It is, right. It is. But just know that we do appreciate comments and we welcome them. And I say all the time, too, is just leave a random comment. Just leave a smiley face.
Also, what I love
a thumbs up
emoji. And this is another reason I extremely highly recommend doing Instagram. Instagram is so like visually pleasing. And that is another place that is so easy to communicate with us, but also, and I think I think I speak for all of us when I say, when we sell you guys things, there's nothing that makes me happier than to see in its final landing spot. Yes. And if you post a picture of it where you just knew it had to go, I mean, I got goosebumps talking about it. I'm a big old softie.
It's so fun to see that.
It melts my heart when somebody shows me that picture. So then you put it on Instagram and tag me and I see it and I'm just like, oh, I just love that. Like Butterfly Nurse just did that with her paint by numbers wall recently. That's and great. Just, you look at it and you're like, oh, I remember, and it's the best feeling because I mean, you sold this person something that now takes this special spot in their home that they see every day. And when they see this item every day, I guarantee you that there are some of these people that not only see that item every day, but they think of you when they see that item. And what's better than, like, you did your job right when that happens. You don't have to force anything. It just happens. I know I told Misty today, I go, Misty, oh, don't forget, look for that one thing. Cause remember the first thing I ever bought from you? I mean, I remember the first thing I bought from Misty, like we all have those memories of that first item that we bought from a certain reseller that meant so much to us, that kind of like broke the seal, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of what it would be. I would have to say it was a saucy book.
Oh God, you used to buy all the saucy
I know. I was
Michael, I have another book that I'm going to be sending you, by the way.
Do you all remember? I would be hot if anybody tried to come in on one of Misty Pate's saucy books. I'd be like,
right? I remember that.
I like Boss.
Hot. I still have them.
I like the sauce.
I do too.
Heck yeah.
I'm here for it.
Well, I guess this turned out to be, I think, a really good vintage rescue store. It was energetic. It was boisterous. I hope everybody I think there was some really good information.
I agree. I learned a lot about YouTube tonight that I didn't know. And I got to know some of these awesome people, which it's addictive too, because these are my people. These are people that understand the stuff that I understand and respect the stuff that I respect. And, we're all just trying to take that vintage and, keep the earth safe and keep the earth healthy and reuse items that are made better than anything that's made now. So it's a really cool platform. I love YouTube.
Yeah.
Definitely getting addicted to it fast.
Christy, all I can say is just look and listen, learn, just go into it and watch it for a while. I'm still learning. I am still learning. I started doing reels lately and I'm all like, did you guys see I did reels before the sale? I'm all proud of myself. And it just takes time. I had to ask my kids how to post a picture after I was on the Instagram for, yes, I say it. But after I was on the Instagram for a few weeks, I was like, Rachel, help me post a picture. Oh God, Mom, but just do it.
Do you know though, YouTube, it also has videos that you can watch to help you get a little acquainted with the Instagram platform. So if you just type in your YouTube search, how do I post a reel on Instagram?
Mhm.
Or there's really good tutorials that you can watch to help you get
Google
an idea.
A lot of things,
but you just have to play around with it. You have to play around with it.
Yeah. I wouldn't have had a video today if it wasn't for YouTube tutorials, because my SD card decided to just go on the fritz in the middle of filming, and I had to start over and start over and start over. And if it wasn't for a YouTube tutorial to help me get out of that, I'd be scratching my head. What do I do? So yes, they are wonderful, and they can teach you mostly right things about almost everything, and sometimes some wrong things.
Yeah, but the tutorial videos for Instagram will at least lead you in the right direction to where you can kind of play around with it and figure it out. Michael, you have 666 subscribers.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure she's missing a 0.
Yes.
It's officially now 6,666. Thank you, Loria.
Excellent.
The beast.
All going as planned.
Yes. Oh, okay. That's what it's showing up. Okay. Well, guys, is there anything else? Oh, I guess sales. Do we want to go around and talk about sales? I mean, I guess obviously tomorrow, 1:00 on Michele Comfy Cozy Living, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah.
It's a Three's Company sale.
Yeah.
And she'll be here.
I'll be here still. And
Lord, y'all pray for me. Do it now tonight. They're literally.
She's sitting across the room, though.
Yeah,
She's not leaving. She told me she's staying.
I did. You don't know what's going to happen with me.
You had me ship everything to your address. She got a couple.
I know I got something waiting from you at home. I know
Michael, she told me she's come to Pennsylvania when she leaves here.
It's actually easier for me to go down by.
She's telling us all something different.
George's goes real quick. I could be to George's for lunch. What do you say?
Okay.
I'm moving. Oh, nice.
I'm going back down to the swamp. You ain't gonna find my ass there.
You're gonna go DK.
While Michael is moving to the swamp, you can also watch my Thursday sale this week because I will be home by then. I'm having a sale. My regular YouTube sale is going to be with Amy's Rock and Pop Shop. Now, for some of you that haven't learned all the peeps from Instagram, she is one of our other more colorful friends. You will love her vibe. She is a cool chick, and we are going to have a blast. Also, because I'm busy. Saturday, I'm doing a Christmas in July sale with that there guy's wife.
Yes.
Sarah, the traveling button.
Yes.
And that's going to be on Instagram.
It's going to be on Instagram.
That's going to be on Instagram, and this little guy will be coming to that Christmas.
Yes.
He's been waiting for this.
As an extra bonus tonight, I just want to let you all know that tomorrow morning, I will be releasing a video that has been edited because the girl is learning to edit from this here one. And please watch it all the way through, because then at the end you will see what my new when I do a t-shirt and everything, you're gonna see my
merchandise,
my merch look.
Nice.
The logo.
Very excited.
A logo.
Yeah. And I did it all by myself. Well, I didn't create it. I made it on the Post-it note and they brought it to fruition.
I'm having a live sale Wednesday with where's she at? Stephanie. Vintage Freak 32.
Awesome.
She and I are having a collab sale on Wednesday at 1:00. She loves the kitsch.
Yes.
Where are you, Darian? There you are.
There she is. There she is. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually going to be selling a few Christmas things. I'm not having a dedicated Christmas sale. I'm going to be putting things in throughout each sale that I have. And then I'm on vacation. I leave Friday and I won't be back until next Friday. So I'll be gone a week. I will be putting out videos. I'm hoping to at least have 3 out next week. So anyway, but yeah, come to that 1:00 Eastern Standard Time.
Heck yeah.
David, when is your next sale?
Oh, let's see. I'm pretty much done for the week. I did a drop last week, and so I'll be relisting some things and catching up on shipping. My next sale is live, and it's July 12th with Vintage Freak Stephanie on Instagram. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I want to say it's 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. But yeah, that's my next sale coming up, and then I want to say I have one also this Sunday with Sarah, but I could be wrong. I don't know. She manages the calendar, and I didn't look before.
Did you wait, Michael? Did you?
Yeah, we're doing a Christmas sale. Sarah and I are doing a Christmas sale this weekend.
Stephanie said that she's bringing all of the items that she's selling has come from the Epic estate sale.
Well,
Oh no!
I got epic items from the Epic estate
I'd
sale.
like George's thoughts on that sale.
I heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know what to say. I was so busy getting merchandise this weekend that I didn't actually get to. I just heard it was amazing, and that's it.
You didn't see the pictures before the sale?
I did not.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Like 600 photos of like a tiny house because there was that much stuff in this tiny house.
Wow.
Michael, tell them about your mermaids. What mermaids did you get?
Okay, so Stephanie here, she found the Florence ceramic mermaids on the shell dish. She got 2 of them.
Wow,
that's amazing. Those are very hard to find. That's really cool.
It was a whole room full of mermaids.
Wow.
All the walls.
There was a room of pixies, a garage full of Christmas. She had all of those lucite purses. Michelle, I know you collect them. It was ridiculous.
I got one today to sell.
How fantastic. Oh, that sounds really great. And, I have to be honest, I kind of put my blinders on because I went to Illinois and picked up a van full of stuff from 2 viewers that needed me to sell things. And they had a bunch of amazing stuff. And I just thought, okay, this is all I can absorb. I'm not going to pay attention to anything else. So now I feel like I missed out.
We're in Illinois.
I heard there were some elbows, though. There were some bloody noses and stuff. So
I believe. I was up in Springfield, and a couple of viewers had situations and needed some help. So I have a brand new, completely full van of absolutely fresh merchandise, and I am taking it to Utica, Michigan next weekend and doing a show there, which is just north of Detroit on the 10th and 11th. Ooh. And then I think I'll have a show in Burlington, Kentucky the following weekend, which is a Sunday only show. That's near Cincinnati. And let's see, my bonus video is up, and the stuff that hasn't already sold out of that is on eBay now. And then I'm thinking I'll be doing some live stuff as well later on because I've got a lot of stuff to sell.
And I guess my next sale is obviously Tuesday and then Sunday. The Cult.Of.Vintage will be back at 8:00, and I will be joined once again by Allison Skeleton Keys in the closet. You guys really liked her last time. You're really gonna like her this time. It's gonna be Christmas. It's gonna be kitsch. There's gonna be homemade wreaths. There might be, I don't know, blue kitties again. Mm-hmm. Who knows?
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, I think we hit it. We did a great night. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. David and George, especially for such short notice. I do appreciate it.
Thank you for the invite. I was honored. I was deeply honored, especially when I found out I was coming on with George. And I told Sarah, my wife, and she like hit me, like Elaine. Shut up! And I was like, no, seriously. So.
I'm so happy to be with all of you again. This is just so much fun for me. So anytime, it's just great.
And the next time we have George on, we all have to make sure that whoever is with us, we all have our green screen because George is putting us all to shame.
Oh, this is green screen. There's nothing behind me besides the green screen. Yeah.
Right on.
Actually, outside.
Oh, I know. I want to have Liberace standing right here next to me on green screen.
Oh, yeah. We had a lot of fun with your Liberace post.
I love Liberace.
He's from Milwaukee. It's natural.
Michael just doesn't understand, but
I mean, to each their own. Whatever floats your boat.
Liberace and red, white, and blue Dairy Queen socks doing a goose step for the 4th of July. I don't know what could be better.
That's the definition of kitsch. American kitsch right there.
Happy birthday, America!
That about sums it all up. And I think on that note, you guys, we'll all say a good night. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It was a great night. I hope you guys did get a lot out of it. And next week, we will not be having Vintage Rescue Squad. The following week, we will be right back to it. Make sure you are subscribed to us not only here on YouTube, but also following us on Instagram for all of the updates for everybody here. And again, thank you, everybody, for joining us. And thank you, everybody, for being here. Y'all have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye.